for another episode of Leadership of the Leaf, now in their third season. More leadership topics to discuss and more cigar knowledge to share with great pairings. Grab a cigar, give it a cut and light, and put some smoke in the air with your host, Dice and Austin.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Leadership of the Leaf. My name's Austin.
What's up, Austin? I'm Dice.
What's up, Dice? Hey, I noticed you have something cylindrical in your wrapped around your fingers, in your fingers there, and I'm curious, what is that thing that you're sticking in your mouth?
Oh, you want to know what's going in this mouth of mine? Huh? Yeah. I'm just saying, it's dark. It is fucking dark.
It is rather dark, I will say.
Well, sir, I am enjoying a crowned heads Coroneta. Is that how you say that? Coroneta Maduro.
How you say it from the south.
Okay. Coroneta Maduro. The size is Earl. Was that 5 by a number?
Yeah, 5 by.
What? We're real sophisticated over here.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are you pairing that old crown head Coroneta Maduro with?
Well, sir, I'm pausing for effect here. Pause, effect, announce. I am drinking a Carlsberg beer.
Carlsberg beer.
Yes.
Is it a wheat beer? Is it a lager? Is it an ale?
Man, you asking the wrong motherfucking questions.
God damn. Is it a Hefeweizen?
Hold on. Pilsner. It's a Pilsner.
Right. You don't even know what you're drinking?
I just told you. How can you say I not know and I just told you? You didn't tell me, I told you. I tried to tell you.
You're unprofessional.
But that's fine. It's a Pilsner, sir. It's a beer from Denmark.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right. Yeah. So it's not Hennessy. There, you can say it. It's not Hennessy. Say it. Go ahead. Say it. Dice is not drinking Hennessy.
I am surprised that Dice is not drinking Hennessy. That what you wanted?
That'll work. That will work.
All right. I'm glad that'll work. I can't believe Dice isn't drinking Hennessy. Like, I can't believe it's not butter. I can't believe it's not Hennessy.
What are you smoking?
I am smoking the exact same thing as you, a Crown Head Maduro Coroneta, and I gotta say, you didn't get it, and I don't know if maybe I prepped you for it, but when I looked this thing up, man, I got some spice in the back of my throat. Like, I still feel it back there.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's there.
No, I mean, it's died down, but like that initial light, maybe I didn't get it lit all the way. Maybe I let only like the pepper half or something. I don't know. I almost was like, oh, this is going to be a spicy meatball.
And what are you pairing yours with?
4 Roses whiskey.
Whiskey.
That's
it.
Small batch whiskey.
Oh, okay. So you add small batch to it. So that's different than a regular whiskey.
It's brewed in smaller batches.
All right, whatever. Okay. Whiskey. Not a whiskey.
I hate you so much.
Rye on
You
toast.
want to sit there and ask me what the fuck ask me like I don't know what the fuck I'm drinking when I ask you if it's an ale or a lager or a Hefeweizen and you're like, I don't fucking know.
But then I answered your question. I'll take Pilsner for $200.
All right, so what is our cigar topic today, this episode?
One thing I would recommend people that are trying to actually elevate their profile and everything in the cigar world
And
is
do better than me.
keep a journal.
Definitely better than I do.
So what is a journal all about? And
Cigar
journals lead to, journeys and stuff like that. So we're going to, the cigar portion is about journals.
Are we writing down our feelings like a 13-year-old girl?
I said journal, not diary. Not like what you cry your little man tears into. It's meant to be. Hurt feelings.
All right. So journals, journaling sounds great, and also like a footwear shoe store. Anyway.
That's just, God damn it. They sell feelers, by the way.
What is our leadership topic? I'm all one today.
Well, our leadership topic is actually something from you. I was going through my emails a while back and came across an email you sent. I believe you got it off LinkedIn. I'm not sure, but it was a get shit done productivity sheet by Chris Donnelly. Donnelly.
I remember that email, that picture, whatever it was I sent you. I do remember.
Yeah. So I got to reviewing it more and more, and I was like, man, this is a leadership topic. This is it. Yeah. So this is based off you here, chum. All right. So without further ado, as you enjoy your Maduro spicy cigar here, do you keep a journal, cigar journal?
Okay. No. And in fairness, when I first started smoking cigars, I did. It was a religion. I was at it religiously, right? Because when I smoked, I had a whole thing. I'd sit there, I'd light up, I'd go, okay, initial taste, this is what I got in the initial puff, right? One puff, that's the rule type thing, right? So I was like, all right, initial puff, then I did first third, second third, final third, and then I rated it on, usually I did a 1 to 10. I didn't rate it like out of the hundreds or whatever. I did 1 to 10, and I tried to put the band with it, or a picture of the band, because I tried to keep it on my phone. So I felt that was easier. As I matured through my cigar journey, there was less stuff that there was less like boutique-ish cigars that I was gravitating towards. I was finding, and I learned more brands, right? Like I learned, Crown Heads. I learned the Blackbird. I learned Oscar. Leaf. The Leaf by Oscar. I learned Drew Estate and Placencia and Oliva, CAO, and all the United brands and all that sort of stuff. So I started like remembering the brands. I'm like, oh yeah, I like those ones. West Tampa. Oh yeah, I like those West Tampa cigars. Oh, I remember I smoked this one. And in fairness, I have a pretty good memory of what bands look like, which is why bands draw me to those things. So I kind of fell off that. And when I started smoking, I actually started smoking more often with you. And I would forget to take my journal notes down. And then I'd get done with like 2-3 cigars at the end of the night. And you and me were smoking. I'm like, shit. And I'll be like, well, you know what? I remember whether it was good or not, and it left an impression. So I stopped doing the journal, but I wish I hadn't, if that makes sense. Yeah, I know you keep a journal. I've seen your journal. It's very well done, very well organized.
Yeah, I've actually slowed down a lot myself because there's a lot of repeat offenders that, of course, we constantly go back to.
Right.
Ones that I will smoke off and on. A lot of the higher end ones I try to keep track of because I don't usually, higher end cigars aren't something I'm gonna smoke on a regular basis. And I also found myself doing a lot of the budget sticks, like the $3 to like $6 sticks. Some people don't like when you call them sticks. The cigars.
Stogie.
Whatever.
Tubes of tobacco I put in my mouth.
There you go. Because they change so often that I wanted to kind of keep track of whom or which cigars are more of a steady on the budget side of things. Like, no matter what, I know what I'm getting into, as opposed to this took a fucking 180 left U-turn. Like, what the fuck is going on with this one?
Right.
So that leads to what actually is what is a journal?
Yeah, so a journal is basically what it sounds like, right? So it's a record that states and stores all the details of your life, ranging from events, ideas, feelings, and your daily thoughts and memories. And then that way, you'll be able to kind of remember what you did, what you were thinking, feeling, and kind of what happened. It's like a dossier or a file containing, detailed records on a particular person or subject. So, when you're journaling for a cigar, you're taking that, hey, I was smoking the cigar, and, some people go as far as these were the temperatures outside, this was the humidity in my humidor, this is the humidity outside, and this is where I smoked it outside instead of in the lounge, and, I had a great day before I did this, and then let me get into the cigar. Because their emotions can affect your...
That's true.
Your perception of the cigar.
Yeah, as we refer to a journal, a dossier, or anything like that, it's not to be in reference to like a diary. A diary is almost on the same page, but normally a diary is more chronological, and normally it's input more on a daily basis instead of a situational basis like a cigar journal. And the thoughts and ideas of a diary are actually a lot more personal.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to hide your journal from people. You want to hide your diary from people. You want to keep that under lock and key. But your journal, you kind of, hey, let me look through your journal real quick and see if we had the same matchups for some of the cigars I know we smoked before.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we talk about it, you talk about the maker, the name, the length, ring size, wrapper, origin, flavor profile, body, strength, all that sort of stuff. First, second, final, third. Put your flavor notes. Hey, I felt it was sweet, spicy, creamy, whatever it is, right? Nutty, earthy, tones. And then you can go into a deeper dive if you really want to kind of get it down. You're like, oh, I really felt coffee and hay, and this tasted like toast. It was weird, and it was a caramel macchiato on a cigar. I don't know, whatever you feel like.
Yeah, I know you said you normally use like a grading system of 1 to 10 or whatever. For some of my inputs and stuff, I shared in our show notes here. Sometimes I use a grading scale of 10 different items of a scale of 1 to 10 to kind of average out to 100. Kind of like almost if you was doing a review on a cigar yourself. But it's not something that you want to try to pair for the masses, because it's your cigar journal. So who gives a fuck about the masses? You're going to do it for really yourself. That's basically what it's for. Right. Yeah, so my 10 that I choose to look at, of course, is appearance. Like any blemishes, how are the seams of the cigar, and caps, triple cap, single cap. The construction, like is it squishy, is it too squishy? Scent, what kind of scent do I get from this cigar? Is it like, oh my god, man, who is smoking a fucking dog rocket out here? That kind of scenario. The draw is important, because how many times we smoke something, you put your draw tool in that bitch. Like, so, burn, how well it burns, how many times you have to relight, is it even burn, flavor, strong, full body, like what kind of flavor am I actually getting? Can I actually get that flavor, or do I have to fight for it? My ash, is it a bountiful ash? Is it a flaky ash? That comes into play. How much smoke? Is it a fucking, rust bucket that's smoking down the highway? Or is it very little output? Like the one I have now, it's very little output.
Yeah, very little, yeah.
The complexity, like, is the first, second, and final third, is it all pretty much the same? Or is it more of a complex turn of events every time you take a puff? And, bottom line, did I enjoy that cigar? And normally I add all those numbers up. If it's in the high 80s or 80 and above or whatever, more than likely it's going to be a repeat cigar buy. My benchmark is around, if it's in the 70s, I don't know, maybe if I just really want to give it a try again, I'll do that. But that's my own cigar journal, like, matrix that I put in there sometimes. Some other people, like you was alluding before, some other people may include price tag. How much did that cigar cost?
Yeah.
Which I have done a few times, as I said at the beginning. Like a budget cigar is going to be different. When and where did I smoke it? Like, did I smoke it in a lounge? But if I'm in a lounge, I'm not going to have a cigar dossier. I'm not going to have a cigar journal. I'm like you. Then I'll make a mental note, be like, oh man, I really enjoyed this, whatever it was.
Yeah, you can take some notes on your phone or something, text them to yourself or whatever. But it's so hard. Like, you're not gonna sit there and like be in a cigar lounge, because most people who've ever been in a cigar lounge know you don't have desks. There's nothing to write on. You're not gonna pull out a fucking like spiral notebook and be like, I really enjoyed that. Like, it's not gonna happen.
On this day, the sun was setting. I enjoyed the first puff of the cigar.
Right? Yeah. You're not gonna sit there and really knock that out. It's gonna be a whole thing. So you kind of have to take notes on your phone to transfer them later. But even then, you sit there and you're like talk with people, and a lot of times when you're in the lounge, people don't want you to be on your phone. They want to talk to you. They want to make new friends, stuff like that. So it's kind of almost rude to be on your phone. So that's kind of part of the reason why I gave up on the whole thing.
Yeah. Some other things that you may want to keep track of, and when you're not in the lounge, is the time of day you're smoking. Because if I smoke a cigar in the morning, it's going to be different if I smoke a cigar late at night. Morning cigars are going to be different. And of course, I got to know what I'm drinking when I'm smoking a cigar, because that's going to play a part in my flavors.
I paired it with Hennessy versus I paired it with whiskey, or I paired it with a beer or a Hefeweizen, or what, if I got some fruity. Yes. Congratulations, you read the can.
Yes.
I got something more weedy. I got something more fruity. I got something, a little bit more oaky or peaty, something like that. That all plays into a part of how you find the flavors of the cigar. That influences the flavors of that cigar. So you also need to make generalization of any notes that would be helpful when this entry is revisited. So when you go back, you're trying to find cigars that you're like, oh yeah, I really like this one, or oh no, I really didn't like that one. Like, write yourself a bottom line. Hey, bottom line, I enjoyed this cigar for this price point, but there's other better cigars at this price point out there.
But the reason why you did not like that cigar, because that's sometimes I'll be looking at like, I remember that label. I remember smoking that before. Why didn't I like that cigar? Of course, I don't have my journal in my back pocket. This is where the phone part comes into play. But generally, like, oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, it tasted like cedar and pepper.
Yeah, or it went out on me every single time. The draw was super tight, and I just
had to fight it.
I had two of them, and I fought both of them the entire time. Like, so I'll give an example. I bought a budget, my first real stick buys. I bought a budget bundle from a company, and in there they had Schizzos.
Oh.
Right. Schizzos are not the worst cigar ever.
Correct.
The first one, I puked because I was fighting that cigar so much to keep it lit. The draw was so tight, and it was just like I could not get it to open up. And at the time, I was new. So I did not have a draw tool. So I was sitting there sucking on this thing constantly, just trying to keep it lit, because if I didn't suck on it constantly, it was going out, and it was a tight draw. So I basically just overloaded myself with nicotine, and like I sucked that cigar down in like the time of a cigarette, right? So I sat there and I just got really lightheaded, and the guy I was smoking with was like, "You okay?" And I was like, "I feel sick," and I went and puked. And I was like, after that, I had another one. I was like, I don't want to fucking smoke this shit. This thing's garbage, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, yeah, after a while, I was like, all right, let me give it a shot. I've learned a little bit. Let me give it another shot. I gave it another shot, and I was like, oh, this really isn't that bad of a cigar. Like, but it was two completely different construction qualities between the two.
Yeah. Are you in your first third?
I am definitely in my first third.
Whoa, missed a big shot. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and agree. Yes, I got pepper.
Yes, pepper. Pepper is there. Probably black pepper. There's earth on the backside, and That's pretty much it for me on this one. Like, I don't get any like chocolatey that I normally get from Maduros that I would expect to get from this, and I don't know if it's a pairing thing, but I'm getting a lot of like pepper hits me first, and then earth, and then I'm searching for like a dark chocolate or a coffee or a mocha or something. And
Did you try retro?
No, I'll give that a shot. You go ahead.
But I mirror everything you pretty much said. I do get a very faint dark chocolate. It's from a retro in Hell. It's at the back end of that retro because the front end is definitely peppery. I can see Earth sitting in the middle there.
Yeah, there's a little bit there.
It's like at the very back end of that retro.
Yeah,
like
very,
you
very
pretty much finished with the retro, and it's like, I got a little bit of chocolate there. It's not overwhelming. It's really reaching, in my opinion. It's really reaching for it. But, again, subjective, however you get it. But those are the flavors I actually got. I agree with you. And you finally got the chocolate there.
Yeah.
I will say, because journals are taken for your journey of the cigars. Yeah? You agree with that?
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that.
All right. So I'm looking for a journey story from you, sir.
Oh.
Can you share a journey story?
I got a journey story for you, my friend. So recently, as earlier this week, I went to a Burn by Rocky Patel cigar lunch.
All right.
It was in Indianapolis. I was there for work, and we had finished up. I finished up eating some little burger sliders because they had like a little social thing for the conference I was at or whatever, right? So I was like, man, I've eaten. I drank a couple beer. I'm good. I want a cigar now. Like, that's where my mind was. Just so happened, literally right next door on the way back to my hotel, just happened to be a Burn by Rocky Patel Lounge. I was like,
sweet.
The cigar gods have smiled upon me today. So I convinced two of my buddies to go in there with me. And we walked in, and immediately the atmosphere was out of this world. Phenomenal, high-end. I would expect nothing less from a Rocky Patel establishment. I walked in, the bartender greeted us, was like, "Hey, here's all the open seating. My name's Jason. Come talk to me at the bar after you get a cigar. I'll hook you up with whatever drink you want." And behind him was like 2 bookshelves full of just liquor, and I was like, "Oh, this is so late."
One of everything.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So I was like, Jason, I appreciate the offer. I'll be back. We'll be back. Let me go get a cigar really quick, and I'll come see you. And so I walked back into the humidor, and there was a gentleman sitting outside of the humidor that I kind of like nodded to, and then headed into the humidor. Come to find out, he was there as like the seller of cigars. Like, the person to help you find your cigars and all that sort of stuff. So I was talking with my 2 buddies. They're talking to me, asking me what they should smoke. One was a brand new smoker. One was like, hey, I got my favorite. So they have that. I'm going to get that. So I was trying to steer the new buddy correctly. I was like, hey, you need a Connecticut. You need something light. Or they have these Javas over here, which are not bad cigars. I said, but they taste like coffee. I was like, they're not bad, but if you like coffee, that's the route I would go. Because that's pretty much all you're going to get. And he was like, oh, okay. I said, but if you go with this one, you're going to get a few more complexer notes and stuff like that, but they're still good cigars. So I'm sitting there looking, and I just couldn't decide, right? So I'm talking with the guy, and I was sharing we were talking cigar knowledge back and forth a little bit. He was showing me his cigars. He's like, oh yeah, I got these Placencia, cigars, $115 a piece. I was like, fuck you, dude. I'm not paying $115 for a stick. Like, I'm just not. Like, so I'm sitting there, I'm like looking around, and I'm sitting there chit-chatting with him. And I was like, oh yeah, I was like, man, you guys got a really good selection here of really high-end cigars, which again, I would fully expect from a Rocky Patel establishment. And I ended up picking up a Plasencia Alma Fuerte. Great cigar.
Is that the octagon?
Yeah, like hexagon one?
Yeah,
yep,
hexagon.
So, because I was like, I haven't had one of these. I want to try it. It was good. Very, very good. But I was sitting there talking to him, and I was like, yeah, so, man, I noticed you have these do you sell boxes of these? Like, he goes, yeah. He's like, I sell boxes. I was like, do you sell many of them? And he was like, oh, I sold 3 last week. I was like, 3 of them? He goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, come look at this other box with me. And he's like, I sold 2 of these so far, and this is my 3rd one. I got 1 more. He goes, they're a limited edition. And it was a Plasencia. Let me pull it up, make sure I got it correct. Plasencia Alma de Fuego Otempe Edición Limitada. Now, when I tell you this box is slick, it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was a nice red box. Had a stone inlaid like on top of it, and inside he had another stone. I was like, what is it? Like, what kind of stone is that? Is that like a humidification stone? Is that the gimmick they're doing or whatever? And he's like, no, that's the stone from the Ometepe Island type, like they have the volcanoes, and he goes, that's a volcanic stone that they inlaid on the top and inside. Oh shit, that's really nice.
That's badass.
Yeah, he's like, I was like, well, how many come in a box? 20. Okay, cool. They're $100 a stick. I said, so how much you selling? He's selling them each stick for $115. And he's like, yeah, the boxes gets you at $2,000. I was like, fuck. $2,000 pesos. And he started chuckling, and he was like, no, it's dollars. And I was like, well, I bet you don't sell many of those. He's like, no, like I said, I already sold 2. He goes, I have this one that's open. I have another one that's not open that a guy's coming to pick up later this week. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. So I was sitting there talking to him, and I was like, yeah, man. I was like, man, that's some rich blood right there. Like, those are your whales. He's like, I got a couple. He goes, in fact, one of the guys, he goes, do you remember the Purple Rain humidors? I was like, you mean like the ones that are like $11,500 a pop? He goes, yeah, I've sold 3 of those.
Damn.
Goes, and 3, it took me 2 weeks. I was like, you are shitting me. He goes, yeah, I sold 2. And he goes, another store couldn't sell their last one, so I took it, and before I could even like get it placed and set up, somebody already wanted to buy it. I was like, Jesus, man. So I was like, and this dude was really cool. Awesome dude. He knew his shit because he was guiding the new guy around. The new guy was asking me, and he kind of jumped in and was like, oh yeah, you want these? Boom. This is this. This is this. This is what you're going to get. Notes of this. Blah, blah, blah. He was super knowledgeable about it. So I was very impressed. Again, wouldn't expect anything different from Rocky Patel establishment. Those guys know their shit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not scared going to go out because I'm talking too much. But so I was like, all my people. So we were chit chatting, and I was asking him. I was like, hey, have you ever gone to CPE? You go hit CPA up a little bit more. And he's like, I don't, but my owner does. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I said, yeah. I wanted to tell you, he's like, have you ever been? I told him I'd been to CPE, and I loved it. We were talking. I was like, I loved meeting all the makers and the distributors and all these people. And I was like, it's just a great community to be in. He's like, absolutely. He goes, it's all about the relationship. And I was like, hell yeah, man, that's what it's all about. So, anyways, we go and sit down, and he had a bunch of boxes for sale, and I was just blown away by some of the prices in there, because I've seen the prices of some of those cigars at other stores.
Yeah.
And they were a lot less, I can tell you that. But again, I'm in a Rocky Patel store. So there's a little higher end, right?
Yeah.
So get my cigar, go sit down. Jason, the bartender, just hooking me up. And I was like, hell yeah. So I chose a nice Aberfeldy 12 year.
Hey, that's your shit. Yeah.
So that's my dad. I was like, this is great. I love this. And we're sitting there chit-chatting, and another group of guys came in. They were chit-chatting with us, and everyone was getting along. We're all having this great time. And then I got the bill. And 4 glasses of 1.5 ounces of, I know how much this bottle costs. because it's like $40 bottle at most was $58.
Oh.
I was like, you gotta be shitting me right now. I was like, I didn't even look at my buddy. I was like, how many did I have? He goes, I think you had like 3 or 4. And I'm pretty sure that I had like 4. He goes, why? What's the problem? I was like, I know how much that bottle costs, and I know how much my bill is. That's the fucking problem. I could have bought like 1.5 of these motherfuckers for what my bill is.
Yeah.
But the cigar was great. The company was great. The atmosphere was just phenomenal. Those guys had it down pat. It was good. They were playing great music. They had some sports on. But if you didn't want to watch the sports, they had this like lounge area with big high back chairs, like
nice.
like 8, and like they had like little rooms. And I walked over into those rooms. The only problem that I really kind of had was had the music turned up really loud. Like I felt, man, if they would turn this down to facilitate more conversation or whatever, people wouldn't have to yell so much. But other than that, it was, like I said, it was a great experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If there's a special occasion for me to go get another cigar, I'd probably go back to another burn. But yeah, it was definitely a cool experience.
That's awesome. I still haven't been to a burn. One day we will go to one.
Yeah.
My journey wasn't, I wouldn't say my journey was as fun as yours, because you got to enjoy Cigar Lounge. You got to actually sit down and enjoy the ambiance, the music, the chit chat, the talk, and everything.
Yeah.
I'll share with you my journey.
Yeah. I want to hear your journey.
I recently went to Copenhagen with the wife. It was kind of like a family trip. The key word here is a family trip. So,
okay. I'm sensing a theme.
Well, the wife wanted to go to Sweden, so we can go to this bathhouse and jump in the Baltic Sea naked, which is a whole nother story. And yes, I did jump in the Baltic Sea naked with a bunch of other guys. But again, like I said, that's a whole nother story. After we was no homo. after we was done with that, she wanted to like go see the sights and do a little shopping or whatever. So while she was doing the shopping, I was like, hey, there's a cigar lounge right across what I thought was a cigar lounge right across the street from where you guys are going to be shopping at. So I'll go there because I don't want to do any of this girly shopping. So when I get there, it was not a cigar lounge, sir.
Oh.
Of course, I can't read Swedish, whatever. I'm just Google mapping it. My internet was complete garbage. So I was happy to even find a cigar place. When I got there, it was one of those, like, I don't want to say convenience store. I got pictures, and of course, pictures of burn and pictures of this we'll put up on the Instagrams later. When I got there, it was like he was selling ice cream on one side and cigars on the other side. It was, and souvenir shit in the middle. It was weird. Whatever, right? The guy was not engaging. He was on the phone, whatever. So I had no idea. So I just shot in the dark. Give me that one. I just pointed to that one. I don't even know what that one was. And I don't even know if he gave me the one I pointed to, but he gave me a cigar. Shot in the dark, whole thing. I got the most, at the time that I learned, is the most Swedish of Sweden cigars I could get. And let me explain.
You're in Sweden, so why not get the most Swedish one, I guess?
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't pick, because he had some names I recognized, but I pointed to one I didn't recognize the name. So just luck of the draw, I got a cigar called, I'll probably pronounce it wrong, but it looks like it's Steffo.
Sure.
Okay. Steffo. It's a box press of Bellicoso, and it's a Connecticut in color. That's about all I know. The shade of it looks Connecticut. Right? So upon further research, the cigar is made by this journalist who has 2 TV shows on TV4, which I guess is some Swedish shit, right? His name is Bo Stefan Steffo Tornquist. I think I was spot on. Any Swedish listeners out there, let me know. Anyway, he's
fucked up.
He's a journalist. Like, I guess he's well known around the area, whatever, right? But he teamed up with Christian Iroa.
Okay.
Which is CLE Asylum and that whole. Everybody should know that name. Anyway, whatever. He teamed up with him, and Christian Iroa often said that Steffo, you always pick the best tobacco leaves for your cigars, which maybe has gassed them up. I don't know. I haven't smoked it yet. I still have it. I'm waiting to enjoy it when I have free time, like no wife to bother, no chores, no anything. I want to sit and really journal this cigar. Hence the journal topic for this episode. Anyway, also upon further research, the band, which I know you're a band guy. The band is also done by a Swedish celebrity. He's some artist, some writer. His name is Ernst Billgren.
Sure.
Well, I can't say his name either. But anyway, the band features like a fox that's all dapper smoking a cigar. So it's pretty cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to enjoying that. I wish there was a lounge there because that was my one shot at sitting at a cigar lounge in Sweden to enjoy a cigar. Missed out on that. So I get another swing at this ball, okay? So now we're in Copenhagen, and there's a cigar lounge there called the Macanudo Cigar Lounge. Much more prestige. It's probably similar to Burn. Of course, I'm out of country, so I can get Cubans, like this whole nine. But before I got to go, when I mentioned it, my better half explained to me how selfish I was. It's a family vacation, and you want to go have a cigar by yourself. You're probably going to be gone about 2 hours. How dare you? Laid it on real thick, made me feel like the biggest jerk on the whole family trip. So I did not go to the lounge to enjoy a cigar. Once again, they went shopping. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go down the street real quick. AKA, I went to Macanudo Cigar Lounge. I was in there. I was chit-chatting with the guy behind the counter. His name was John. Really nice guy. Really helpful fellow. I told him what I wanted to do was film the lounger, like real quick, film his cigars. And then I was like, John, what I'm really looking for is I want the most Denmarkish whatever cigar you got. Because I had the most Swedish cigar. Now I want the most Denmark. I'm not going to shoot in the dark this time. I want you to give me the most Denmark cigar that you got. And he gave me one. And I can't say the name. Caminetti? Can you see the show note? Caminante? Okay, that sounds better than what I was trying to say.
I know.
The company was founded in 1826 by Abraham Marcus Hirschsprung.
Hirschsprung.
Okay.
We're going to go with that until our Denmark listeners go. You guys are idiots. Stop pronouncing it.
So John explained that AM, he came from Germany, came to Denmark, opened up a tobacco place in the bottom of a hotel. It started becoming popular. Of course, he passed away. His two sons took over. One son was all about marketing. The other son was about making the cigars the best they could be. Of course, that was a dynamic duo. Made the cigar like one of the most leading tobacco companies in Copenhagen. And then it was picked up in 1972 by STGs.
I fucking knew it.
But while I was there, I was able to capture the lounge. I wish I was able to sit down and smoke in the lounge. It would probably have been phenomenal. I didn't have the time. I did go downstairs because you had to take this small windy stairs down. And the lounge atmosphere was absolutely wonderful. They had coffee, they had drinks, they had all... I don't even know if you had to pay for it because all of it seemed like it was in the open, free for the taking while you were sitting in their cigar lounge. I got to chit-chatting with John. John is a phenomenal guy. He said that they do listen to a podcast called Cigar Authority. But he said, I'm always in the market for something good, like a good cigar podcast. And I'll be damned if I wasn't able to help John out.
John, we hope you listen.
Well, yeah, big shout out to John. I wish I met the lady. There was a lady there. She was helping out another customer. When I walked in, there was a guy, and he gave all the staff like a cigar from his personal staff. It was just seemed like such a great atmosphere to enjoy. I wish I was able to enjoy it as much as I could. But John mentioned podcasts, so of course I brought up our podcast, and lo and behold, John pulled up our podcast right there on the spot. He said, "Is this what Leadership of the League? This is you guys?" And he followed right there on the spot. So I'm pretty confident John will get this, and so big shout out to John and Macanudo Lounge in Copenhagen. Great place. As you know, I'm drinking Carlsberg Pilsner, which I went to the Carlsberg Brewery. Why can't I say brewery? Did I say that right? Brewery. I went to where they make the beer and went through the whole tour, and it was a phenomenal tour. Absolutely gorgeous. Got a glass, got a 6-pack. I didn't want to bring too much because my suitcase, you only limited so much weight.
Right.
But that's why I'm drinking this Carlsberg beer with this cigar. Unfortunately, I am not going to smoke either of those cigars that I got on air because I want to sit back with my own music in the nice weather and journal.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's awesome. I'm super jealous. I did want to go to another cigar lounge when I was in Indy, but I was just unable to. I didn't have enough. I ran out of time. I was only there 4 days, so I was able to get burned. So I was happy there. But yeah, that's awesome.
So looking forward to that. Those are the type of things that you want to make note of in your journal, right? So when I smoke the cigars from Sweden, when I smoke a cigar from Copenhagen or whatever, in my journal, in my additional notes, those are the notes I will write down. So I can remember, like, have I ever had that cigar before? Or these are like prime jewels of a cigar section. Like, it's worn off because how many times will I often get to go to Copenhagen or Sweden to pick up these cigars that are only in those areas? Not only in those areas. I can't say only in those areas, but popular around those areas. Let's say it that way. I'm not going to be able to go to 8 or somewhere here and pick up a Stefo.
Yeah.
I probably can order something offline or even somewhere else in Europe, but more than likely I will not be able to find it just easily, willy-nilly here.
No, yeah, that's for sure. Well, that's awesome that you were able to do that. Unfortunately, I'm sad that you weren't able to enjoy the lounge atmosphere.
It's a family vacation, Austin.
Okay.
Don't be selfish. It's not like you got a cigar podcast where listeners will probably want to hear more about the lounge in Copenhagen. Don't be selfish.
But I want to go shopping.
So for our cigar segment, we definitely went over the time limit here. So talk about a second, third after the break.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with our leadership topic.
Have you ever wanted to suggest a new leadership or cigar topic to your favorite podcast?
I would like to, but I don't think they would listen.
Well, that's not the case with Leadership of the Leaf.
Really?
Yeah, only thing is you need to do is comment on their Instagram at Leadership of the Leaf, all one word, and they'll listen.
I'm on the Instagram page right now. There's a link in the bio. I can even email them.
You can also send them a private message and they'll respond to your query.
Queries? Did you just say queries? Does that mean question?
Yes, it does.
Well, good. I have a few queries about cigars and a few about leadership.
Well, that's great. I can't wait for the next episode.
Hola, mi gente. I'm Wanda Hernandez. I'm CEO of Sticks and Stones Productions, and we are here with Dyson Austin, and you are listening to Leadership of the Leaf.
All right, welcome back to Leadership of the Leaf. Cigar portion went a little long. We'll just go over our leadership portion. Probably go just as long. We don't know. Who knows? Because we get to talking, we get to having fun about this stuff. Second, third.
Before we do it, we gotta do second, third. Hold on. Don't jump into the leadership portion on me yet.
How's your second, third working out for you?
It's good. I still get quite a bit of spice. But that earth has turned to more nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a nutty, but there's peppery, like on like the back of my tongue. It's not even on like the retro, but it's on the back of my tongue.
Yeah.
It just hits with like pepper. But like at the beginning, it's like a nutty, creamy, and then the back of my tongue is it's like pepper. It's weird. It's interesting.
It's like, hey, we're going to become a creamy ass like cigar, but no. Wait. Here's pepper.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, did you get that? It's like Pepper Bay over here. Fuck.
But no, I'm enjoying it. It's
I am enjoying it.
I don't want to say mellow. It's mild to medium.
I would say solidly in the medium category.
You would say solid? Well,
That-
it's
mine-
a little more
mine
because the
feels
creamy
like
kind of hit, and then the pepper's like wah.
Right. That's why I'm like, I feel like solidly in the medium category. Mine, every time I was like, I smoke it, I'm like, it's got some good taste, but like that pepper is just. I wish there was a little bit more balance. At cigar.
Okay.
To me, it just is like I wish they would dial the pepper back just a touch. Maybe this is just the one cigar I have, right? I wish they'd dial that pepper back just. It's like at like a 7. I wish they'd dial it back to like a 5.
Okay.
And allow that nutty creaminess to come through with that pepper. But anyways, all right, leadership topic. We got the Get Shit Done productivity sheet by
Yes.
Chris Donnelly. So first things first, I will say that I think we have talked about quite a bit of these.
Some of them. I'm
Yeah.
very confident we did.
So first thing first is eat the damn frog.
Yes,
We talked about this one for sure.
definitely did. Yes.
Do your hardest task first. The rest is gonna always be easier. Basically, if you start at the top of the hill, all you gotta do is roll down it. Versus you start at the bottom of the hill with the easiest task, and you try to climb up that hill. That shit
Yeah.
sucks. So
Yeah.
do the hardest task first. It's gonna be easier. If it's your job to eat the frog, it's just best to eat it first thing in the morning. Get it out of the way. Get it done, and the rest of your day is gonna be a lot.
What if you have 2 frogs? Or what if you have to eat 2 frogs?
I eat them both in the morning.
Eat them both in a
Yeah.
It's best to start with the biggest one first and just go at it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's eat
Yeah.
the damn frog.
Right.
I don't want to go too much into it because we did have a whole leadership episode on that. It was definitely this season 3. I want to say it was around episode 11.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, episode 11. Go back, listen to Eat the Damn Frog. That's a really good moniker to kind of go off of. Basically, do your hardest task first, as we were saying. Then there's a Eisenhower matrix.
Oh, I love the Eisenhower matrix. So this is 4-quadrant setup, right? So you have top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, right? So
Right.
So on your x-axis, which would be the left and the right, that's your urgency. And then on the top, on your y-axis, which would be up and down, that is your important and non-important. So, in your top left quadrant, you have important tasks that are not urgent. What you do is you schedule those things. They're not important, but they're not urgent, but they're important. So schedule them out. In your top right, that would be your very important and urgent. Do those right away. Those are your frogs.
Yeah.
Right? Get them done. Get them out of your hair. Those are your fires that you have to put out. Then on the bottom, you have your not important. If you have your bottom left, you're not important and not urgent. Get rid of it. If it's not urgent and it's not important, why the fuck do you have it?
Yeah, let's just eliminate that from your plate there. Just eliminate that. Which then leaves your urgent and not important.
Right?
Those are the ones you kind of want to delegate.
Yeah. Give it to somebody else. Hey, this is a growing task. Hey, let me give you a little bit more responsibility. Let me train you on how to do this stuff. They're urgent. They may not be as important, right? And this is the boxes are there as a guide, but your tasks can fall anywhere within those boxes, on this graph, so to speak.
Yeah.
So maybe it is on the urgent, but it's at the top of almost being important. Delegate that shit.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, hey, this is not super important, but it is pretty important, but I need you to handle this. Or if it's at the bottom, you're like, why am I fucking dealing with this one little task. Like this, obviously, it doesn't take anybody 5 minutes, but it's, it's important that it gets done. It's like, emptying out the trash at the end of the day because I have fucking, a banana peel in there or an apple core or whatever. Yeah.
Fruit flies, motherfucker, fruit flies.
Yeah, I want to empty that out so I don't get fruit flies in there, but it's really not all that important. It's urgent, but it's not that important. I'm going to delegate that to somebody else, or I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in the big trash can or whatever on my way out, or maybe I schedule a cleaning crew or something, whatever the case is, right? Something, delegate that shit. Delegate it down. Maybe it's, double checking expense reports. Does the regional manager need to double check all expense reports for, one office, or do they need to just take a sampling of 10% of all their offices? Delegate that down. It's important.
Yeah.
It's urgent. You gotta get this done. But anyways, that's the Eisenhower matrix, right? You got urgent and important, not urgent but important, urgent and not important, and then you have not urgent, not important. So go through there. All right, next one is the 2-minute rule.
2 minutes.
This one, if I could get my wife to figure this one out, I think I'd be so much less stressed. But the rule is, if a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Period.
Yes.
If it takes less than 2 minutes, then why are you putting it off? All you're going to do is grow it in your mind, and you're going to make it bigger than it actually needs to be, and it takes literally 2 minutes.
I think this is one that the wife gets upset about me with also. Upset in the opposite direction. Because she'll ask me to do something, and I'm like, oh, that's going to take about 2 minutes. So I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go do it now. She's like, well, I didn't mean for you to do it now. I mean, I'm not trying to be bossy and tell you to do it now. I'm like, well, if I do it now, it'll be done, and I don't have to worry about it again. But if I don't do it now, it's going to be on my plate later. It's going to keep getting pushed back. I'm never going to get it done. And then what happens is a couple of days from now, you're going to ask again and be like, I thought I asked you to do this a week ago. And I'll be like, well, shit, I should have fucking done it when you asked the first time. Now I already had it done. So she gets a little upset when I'm like, all right, I'm going to fucking do it now. Of course, I don't feel like doing it now, but I know it's only like a 2-minute task. And if I do it now, I will never have to hear about this shit again. I can go outside and smoke a cigar with no fucking, nagging. None of that shit. I go ahead, 2-minute task, knock it out the box, B.
It's the same thing. Like I trash. My wife takes me out. Hey, can you take out the trash? Sure. I can take out the trash. I can stack it up, go take out the trash. She's like, well, I wanted you to wait. Why? Well, there's something else in there. Then don't ask me to take out the trash. That doesn't take but 30 seconds for me to stack up a bag of trash, walk it to the fucking trash can, and come right back inside.
Yeah.
If you wanted me to wait, say, hey, whenever you're done, then ask, hey, could you take out the trash? Or, opposite side, my wife loves to, I don't know why she does it, but she will do it halfway. She'll fold the laundry, but then she won't put it away.
Stop.
And
it.
I'm like,
stop it. You're talking my life right now.
Put the fucking laundry. It takes 2 minutes to put the fucking laundry away. Just fucking put it away.
Yeah. Put yours away, and you can put mine on the bed, and I'll put mine away when I get home or whenever. Yeah, I take care of mine. Just put it away. Put something away. Put the towels away. Do that. Try that.
See, my thing is, I always I'm like, if I have to take something upstairs, I never go upstairs empty-handed. So I go upstairs, I take my towels with me, and I put those away while I'm doing something else, and it took 30 seconds out of my day. But anyway,
upstairs, okay, baller. Ooh, baller.
Calm down.
Okay, sorry. When I go to the west wing of my mansion.
The rental.
I'm sorry, I've been killing myself over here. So after the 2 minute, again, these are things to get shit done. Productivity sheet. These are ways to get shit done. All right. The next one is was that Seinfeld strategy?
Jeez.
Seinfeld. So I don't know if it's named after the TV show or not. I don't know.
I doubt it.
Anyway, Seinfeld strategy. You want to set a goal, mark your calendar each day you do it. I want to do 5 sit-ups a day. Mark my calendar every day I do it. I don't do sit-ups, by the way. Keep the streak as long as you can. Never miss 2 days in a row. One thing I started doing that I noticed what the Seinfeld strategy is all about. I don't know if do you use the app Duolingo?
No, I haven't ever. I want to. I should, but I don't.
Well, it's a nice little app to help train and teach you how to speak a different language.
Yep.
I have started using it. I'm on 100 and something day streak. Tim Swanson, he mentioned it on his. If you go back and listen to it, he mentioned that he does this language app or whatever, and he says he's kicking ass in it. I'm doing that same app, and I'm kicking ass in it too. But the strategy is exactly what it's doing, because it marks each day that you use it, right? And it makes a note if you miss a day. Like, it encourages to keep your winning streak going, your hot streak going, because you do it about 5 minutes a day. So I also refer to the Seinfeld strategy as the Duolingo strategy. You may also call it something as like a habit, making something a habit.
Yeah.
We had a whole leadership episode on habits, forming habits.
Yeah. See, that's another one of those things where I'm like, it's, like, if you just do one, like, if you can clean your house, right? Yeah. You get your house pristine. If you clean one thing in 10 minutes a day, your house will stay fucking clean.
Yeah.
And all it took you was 15 minutes. 10 minutes, whatever it is. Like, yeah. For me, I have I splurged and bought a robot vacuum, right? So before I leave for the day to go to work, I picked all the shit up off the floor, and I start it as I'm walking out the door, and I'm like, the floors are gonna get vacuumed. Hell yeah, that's one less thing to do on my fucking list. And then when I come home for lunch, I put everything back. And I vacuumed the floors today. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. And I didn't vacuum the floors. Fucking robot did, but fuck it. Makes me feel good.
Did you name your robot?
Don't ask me. Don't ask me questions you don't want the answers to.
Our robot name is Rosie. We named it Rosie. I think a lot of people named it as Rosie.
I did name it, but it's
not Rosie.
No.
Okay.
I'll tell you off there.
I just looked up the habit episode. It was season 3. It was this season. It was episode 6.
Okay. So yeah, if you do something enough, repetitively enough, like it, honestly, if you just did, I'm gonna spend 15 minutes and I'm going to do push-ups, or I'm going to do push-ups and sit-ups in 15 minutes. I'm going to see how many I can do in 7.5 minutes, and I'm going to flip it over and do sit-ups in 7.5 minutes. All it takes is enough. What's that thing is, if you practice something for 1 hour every day, you'll be in the top, 1% of the population in that thing.
Yeah, something
or
like that.
Something along those lines. But it's just doing small things add up. Right? All right.
Yeah. What's the next one is I didn't quite understand the next one. Maybe you can elaborate a little more. The next one is time blocking. You identify what needs doing. You identify what needs to be done. You group similar activities together, which I get that part. Then you assign time slots for each task. You plot those blocks on a calendar and you stick to the schedule. And you take breaks in between each of the blocks. Make changes if needed. And then there's an example of it, like 9 to 12, and during your work day, that's your deep work. That's when you put in, the good hard, like getting work done, get shit done type attitude. And then 12 to 12:30, that's when you meander around in your emails and answer all your emails and stuff that your email game. You take care of that. Of course, then you take some lunch. if you're one of those gym guys, you go to the gym, you take a break, and then near the end of the day, because it's not task or labor intensive, that's when you want to try to schedule your meetings and stuff out that kind of close out your day. That's an example that they gave.
Yeah. So the schedule is different for everybody, right? Everybody has a different rhythm to their day, right? So some people may not be morning persons, so they may not get their best work done towards the beginning of the day. They may get their best work done towards the end of the day. So maybe if you know that you get the best work out of yourself at the end of the day, maybe you schedule your deep work, right? Hey, I'm going to focus on this project. I'm going to schedule out resources. I'm going to sit there and work on my computer and Microsoft Project or something. And I'm going to look at these charts, and I'm going to schedule resources. I'm going to look at our shortfalls. I'm going to look at resource budgets. I'm going to get all this big picture, deep work stuff kind of done at the end of the day, because that's when I do my best work. So at the beginning of the day, I schedule all my meetings at the beginning of the day because I'm not quite awake and they're not super labor intensive, and I can talk with people and that doesn't bother me. And then I'm going to take a break, and if you take a 10-minute break in between each one of those, right, or 5-minute break in between each one of those, it helps you kind of end your block of what you were doing, right? So if you were in meetings all day, you've jotted down all your notes and questions and everything else, and then your next block is emails. All right, now I'm going to set up emails. Now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to look at my emails. I'm going to answer everything. And then, all right, now I'm done with that. I'm going to take some lunch. And you focus on lunch. What a lot of people do is
eat lunch at the desk.
Yes. So there's a mindfulness exercise that we don't cover here, but it's called the spoon technique. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, you mentioned it before.
Right. So for those who haven't listened to it or haven't spoken about it since you started listening, here's what the spoon technique is. Every day you wake up, you have a certain number of spoons. These spoons represent your energy level for the day. Overall energy level. Bang. It's capped. Right? This is the theory behind it. You have a capped energy level. So, waking up and going to the gym. Let's say you start out with 5 spoons. Waking up, going to the gym, that takes half a spoon because you feel re-energized. But you get some energy out, right? So now you have 4.5 spoons. So then your drive to work, that takes another half a spoon. All right, now you're at work and you do your deep work from 9 to 12. Well, that takes up a whole spoon. So now you only have 3 left. So then you do your email. So that takes half a spoon. Then let's say you eat lunch at your desk, and because you're eating lunch at your desk, people are coming in to talk to you, and because you're like eating and trying to deal with people's problems, you're going to take the other half of that spoon. You have 2 spoons left. Now it's time to go to meetings. Well, you have one meeting that's really long, and that takes a whole spoon. You got 1 spoon left. So now you're done with work, and you drive back, so that takes another half spoon to your house. Now you have half a spoon of energy level to spend with your kids, your wife, your spouse, eat dinner, do whatever, laundry, whatever, and 9 times out of 10, that's going to take more than half a spoon, right? So the whole idea is you this goes back to that matrix, right? You delegate what you don't need to do, you focus on what you do need to do, and you say no to the extraneous bullshit. So if you take your lunch away from your desk, let's say you go down to the cafeteria, let's say you go out to eat, let's say you go eat lunch in the park, I don't fucking know, whatever you guys do. You know, you're away and you're not using up extra energy because you're just focusing on lunch and you're getting to take a breather. So the time blocking is like, if I have a project that I need to work on and I have a bunch of meetings, I'm going to schedule all those meetings for that project back to back to back to back to back. And then I'm going to work on emails. Then I'm going to worry about, hey, what's the outcome? I'm going to take lunch. And then after that, I'm going to worry about the outcome of those meetings. All right, let me look at my notes from all those meetings. Okay, now I need to start working on all these action items from these meetings that I had. I'm going to get to work and I'm going to do all my deep work. Maybe that's your rhythm, right? Who knows? And then that way you can kind of sit there and schedule stuff out. That's what time blocking is. So you just schedule, if you have like activities, training, meetings, those are pretty similar. Emails, yep. You know, I got expense reports and emails. Well, shit. Both of those are on the computer, guaranteed. So you can sit there and review emails and do expense reports, bang, bang, and then you just schedule them together. So that way you're not task splitting so much, and it's not wearing you out as much.
Okay, that makes sense. Blocking out what you need throughout the day. I get it. It's just another productivity tool to help you get shit done. I got it.
Yeah. All right, so the next one is the 333 method from Oliver Berkerman, as he's a British journalist and author.
He contributed to the list. It was actually on that paperwork that you sent.
Yeah. So you want to do these daily, right?
Yeah.
So spend 3 hours working on an important project. You want to spend 3 hours completing shorter, urgent tasks or meetings, and then the last 3 hours of the day, you want to do maintenance tasks to keep life running smoothly. Guess what? That only adds up to 9 hours out of a 24-hour day. If you add in 8 hours of sleep, which most people get like 6, 7 at most, you know, that's 9 plus, let's call it 7. You're at 16 hours. There's a whole other 8 hours of the day. Take out, let's call it 2 hours for transit time to and from work. You're at 6 hours left for the day. Yeah, that's time with your family. That's time with your spouse. That's time doing the other stuff that you need to do.
Right, and you, of course, you incorporate that with the blocking. I see the 333 method. I see the value in that. I just see that harder to maintain because life is often changing. There's so many avenues and stuff that's constantly switching, especially on that matrix, the quadrant. Like some things can go from go from non-urgent to urgent at the change of an hour or so. Like I needed a report yesterday. Oh no, I needed it like now. I need it tomorrow or however. So I can see the 333 trying to become a good method to use daily, but I just don't see that working out precisely.
No, it's a general guideline.
Right. The last technique is, of course, Pomodoro.
Yeah.
You suck just as bad as I do. You're supposed to be the one that knows how to say all this shit.
When did I become the enunciator?
When you started clowning me for enunciating incorrectly.
Enunciating?
See? There you go.
Start speaking correctly.
Pomodoro. And he's... Alright, I got ash going somewhere everywhere. That's my fault. You want to list your task. And then set a 25-minute timer. Focus and work. Take a 5-minute break. Repeat up to 4 times, then break longer as needed. So if you was to block it, and then you'll do your 333 method, and then the Pomo technique, I believe you will have a very productive day.
Yeah.
I think by nature way it's designed, especially with the matrix of urgent and non-urgent, important and non-important. And you filter all this together. 100% can see your day being very productive. You will get a lot of shit done.
Yeah. So, like, if you're doing, let's just use expense reports because that's an easy one, right? If you're doing expense reports and you're sitting there and you try to go past like 25 minutes, at a certain point you're just seeing numbers and you're not even looking at that shit anymore. But if you sit there and you go, I'm going to do these for 25 minutes, you do 25 minutes and you're like, all right, I'm going to get up for 5 minutes and I'm going to go take a lap and get out from behind my desk and I'm going to go see what my employees are doing. Or I'm going to go see what my coworkers are doing. See, maybe I can just chit chat for a couple minutes. And you talk about the game that weekend, or you talk about playing pinochle or fuck, I don't know what they had for lunch or what are they doing this weekend or whatever the fuck is, right? Whatever it is, you get your mind off those expense reports. You come back to your desk after that 5 minutes. You're gonna be you're not gonna be as energized, obviously, but you're gonna be fresher than if you just try to power through everything and hopefully not make a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want you to make a mistake, but I do want you to tell me about your final third.
Man, you are getting so good at these segues. I feel like so proud. All right, final third. It's still very peppery for me.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit surprised because I really thought this thing was going to mellow out eventually. But it really hasn't. Like that Maduro dark chocolatey note, that sweetness that normally accompanies Maduros, it's just not there.
It's not there. No, it is not. So, mine is definitely, my pepper has mellowed, but it's still pepper nonetheless.
Yeah. There's a pepper there, and see, I can honestly say that my palate has been traumatized from the first and second third of just how much pepper there was.
So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm smoking this, and I'm like, is there pepper there, or is there something else that I'm just not picking up on? Because my palate has been traumatized.
Well, this is the smaller of the sizes, so maybe the larger sizes like Duke or whatever the other ones are called. I'm sorry, but this is the smaller of the 3 sizes that they have. Advice told us to have. Maybe a larger size will kind of even it out a little more. Maybe because this is smaller, it's a little more jam packed, and doesn't have room to allow the changes of flavors to come to like break apart as much. But definitely pepper is staying on my palate. I was hoping that the creaminess kind of took over a little more near the end, but it definitely did not.
Yeah, I was hoping the creaminess and the dark chocolate would come through a little bit more. But even on my lips, I'm still getting pepper, and it's just again, my mind goes straight back to balance. That's what my mind rolls to immediately. I'm missing a balance where they just dialed that pepper up too much. But anyways, all right. So, Dice, with that being said, single, 5-pack, or box worthy?
It's time to answer the question. Is a cigar box worthy, 5-pack, or just 1 or 2?
Paying attention to a lot of the cigar, the construction on it was well. The band was slightly eye-catching because it was kind of crown shaped. The color and everything about it is absolutely wonderful. The burn line is a little not as sharp as I'm used to seeing on a lot of crown head type cigars. The ash is perfect. The smoke is amazing. Doesn't have much of a scent coming off of the actual cigar. Considering that the pepper kind of stayed throughout the whole thing, I'm not a huge pepper. I'm not a huge cedar. Like I don't mind them, but I don't want the whole cigar just to be that one note throughout. I'm gonna have to say single for me.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. See, I thought you were gonna go 5-pack. So I'm sure people have heard I've had to relight this a couple times, which is kind of disappointing. The ash is black towards the tip where it's been ashed, and then it fades to like a gray to me. For me, at least. So that's been, a little disappointing. That pepper just staying there is just, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, come on, give me something else. Again, my mind goes back to balance. It's missing the balance of the whole thing. It's just overwhelmed with pepper, and I'm not a huge fan of that.
Well, saying that, it's not a bad cigar by all means. I did enjoy the smoke. It's not my flavor profile. I'm pretty confident some of the listeners out there, if pepper is your bag baby, then I would definitely pick this up, give it a great try. It's not like I would never smoke the cigar again. It's not one of those type cigars. It's just I wouldn't go out and be like, oh shit, a 5-pack, I'm in. But every now and again, I can see me picking this up again, one or two here and there. But 5-pack, box worthy, definitely not box worthy. 5-pack.
To try a bigger size and see if that makes a difference. If it does, this could be a really, really great cigar. But the smaller size that we have, just not it.
Yeah, so single it is for both of us. I mean, a phenomenal episode. We talk about the journals, what it takes to actually keep a cigar journal. Yes, of course, everyone's not going to keep up with one every time they smoke a cigar. I'm not one of those heavy hitters where I'm setting a stopwatch when I start it. I'm not going to take the room temperature and all that shit when I start. I mean, by all means, if you want to do that for your journal, go ahead. It's your journal. You can do pretty much what you want with it. There's preprint journals out there if you prefer. Of course, the whole point of a journal is to discuss your journey, whether it's a journey in the cigar you're smoking or a journey in actually getting cigars and smoking cigars in different locations. So enjoy that journey however you see fit. We definitely discuss how to be more productive, how to get shit done. And I will say that list of all the items on that list, if you was to do all those items on that list, you would definitely have a very fucking productive day.
Yeah, that would be a great way to be able to get your work done, get everything done, delegate, remove the extraneous bullshit from the day, so to speak, and really be able to focus on that journey and that cigar and everything else.
All right. Well, until next time, my friend, I'm Dice.
And I'm Austin. And great leaders smoke great cigars.
True.
Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.